Greetings, I am Failure to Report, and it's time to talk about the releasing of Star Citizen 3.0. Because CIG evidently thought it was ready to go live. But first, I want to preface this video. As many of you know, I have since left the game as a backer. My content since leaving Star Citizen has been fairly mocking, or trolly, of both the game and its hardcore fanbase. This video is going to say some mean things about Chris and the live build of 3.0. However, I implore you, those of you who are still backers, to get through this video. I'm going to do my utmost not to make the mocking voice that everybody hates, and this video is meant as seriously as I can manage it. If you can, try to endure this video, and if you come out the other side and you still end up saying there's nothing wrong here of Star Citizen, then fair enough. I will leave you and your game alone. That said, let's get on with this show. Now, first and foremost, I need to do something, and that is admit when I'm wrong. For the last few months, I've been saying, both on the subreddit and elsewhere, that 3.0 would not go live during Christmas, like they did with 2.6.3. I insisted that it would be a terrible idea after the lessons of 2.6.3, where releasing a broken new build to the masses would leave people bitter and angry with no support from the company, as they would all be on holiday. I was wrong. I really thought that CIG had learned from the past, but I probably should have known better, and as such, I am an idiot. But I'm also a big enough man of an idiot to admit when I'm wrong. So, out in the open, I would like to say I was wrong. I didn't think CIG would do it, but clearly, I had no fucking clue. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about Star Citizen 3.0 live release. The whole reason I felt compelled to make this video is because after the release and the general outcry of, it runs like shit, why can't I load in? What's going on with the lag, etc., etc., that's literally all over the internet right now and any medium that's related to Star Citizen. Chris Roberts, hallowed be his name, decided to make a post on the RSI Spectrum forums, where he made a lot of insightful claims. So the first one I want to start with is either the boldest lie I've ever seen Chris make publicly, or it's the greatest demonstration that Chris Roberts is completely detached from reality and the ongoings of his fucking game. Chris Roberts says, "In our internal testing, we didn't witness the performance issues that we saw on PTU or live once thousands of players got in and started doing all sorts of crazy things." Oh, that was almost mocking voice, I apologize. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and gloss over the fact that Chris goes on to say that doing crazy things, like having a freighter with cargo get blown up, can bring clients and servers to their knees, because we should never, ever expect that kind of thing to ever happen in the live game, right? So let's just jump into this whole bold-faced lie about performance. Since the drop of the non-disclosure agreement, Evocati testers were saying, so far back as the PTU launch in November, that the build ran like shit. It had issues aplenty. I have yet to meet a single Evocati tester who has said 3.0 was ready to go to public testing universe. So when it dropped on the PTU, for anyone who was willing to subscribe on the RSI website or concierge, the Evocati were obviously very surprised, to say the least. Now, there's no shortage of streamer videos, YouTube uploads, and screenshots of the various bugs, glitches, crashes, and so forth from the PTU phase of 3.0's life. And I'm even willing to meet fanboys in the middle ground and say, yeah, bugs, glitches, they're fixable. At this point, we expect nothing less of CIG, right? Because it's kind of their thing. It's accepted. It's tradition, like the Coca-Cola ads during Christmas. You know it's going to happen. However, the frame rate taking an unplayable new low in 3.0 in comparison to an already janky performing 2.6.3, that's not okay. We were told time and again, oh, well, it's a waste of our time for us to put in the effort to fixing 2.6 issues because we have 3.0 right around the corner, and that's going to fix all the things and add tons of gameplay. Huh. That sounds familiar for some reason. Almost like a, hey, we know 3.0 is a fucking mess right now, and we could waste time working on it, but, then it would be at least February by the time we got fixes out. And instead, we could be, not wasting resources and focusing on 3.1. You don't want us to take time and resources away from 3.1, do you? Okay, right there, boom. Let's go full stop. This kind of response is typical CIG baiting and milking of backer sympathy, and you people need to snap the fuck out of it. They pull this with every major patch they drop. And I want to stress the major part because those major patches are far and few between. So backers are left playing a shoddy release of whatever CIG has just given out until the next big thing comes along, which is hyped by CIG and then the community to be the patch to wait for, the one to fix all things. Look, admittedly, my money is out of this game now, but that said, I would love to see CIG actually succeed. But it's never going to happen if you, the community, keep enabling CIG and Chris Roberts. You need to put a fucking foot down and actually stand on it. I'm not talking land sale hissy fit that lasts 8 hours. You guys need to hold CIG accountable for what they are doing because they've demonstrated clear as day it isn't going to get better if you just let them do what they want while they shit out spaceship JPEGs faster than bunny rabbits fuck. A lot of people come in here and go, Failure, you just want the game to fail. You hate CIG. You don't get it. You are the devil. And yeah, I do. I hate CIG. I think as a company, they're fucking evil. They employ some of the shadiest business practices in the industry. If they would just plug loot boxes into their business plan somehow, they would be teabagging Electronic Arts while hoisting the fabled worst company in the world award up into the air over their heads. Absolutely. No problem. I completely hate CIG, and I'm fine saying that. I don't like them as a company. I think they're fucking shady. That said, no, actually, I don't want Star Citizen to fail. Why the fuck would I put that kind of money into it, this project, into this dream, if I wanted to see it flop? Furthermore, I would have refunded and literally would have been hand feeding another 10K plus backer refunds on CIG story to the gaming media outlets because holy shit, let me tell you, my story with CIG was pretty fucking amazing, especially how their customer service and community management teams handled my whole Idris M purchase. That one would have been pure clickbait news article gold, but I didn't do that because I didn't try to leave this project out of spite. I left this project because of many other reasons. So yes, I would love to see this game actually get made, especially if CIG actually delivered on the whole modded private servers, because then I could just turn off all of Chris's stupid mechanics that I don't agree with, and I'd be essentially playing the game of my dreams at this point. Well, at that point. However, my wishes and hopes aside, this game is never going to get made with the way CIG runs it. With Chris Roberts being free to skip around the studios, adding extra fluffy garbage to every fucking department at every turn, with the community holding CIG accountable to the same level that North Korea holds its supreme leader accountable. I mean, I could sit here all day with this shit. Now let's turn to segment 2. Chris blames the players and says that the problem Star Citizen is facing in terms of frame rate has to do with players being crazy. Oh, them players, always being kooky, playing a space sandbox game like a space sandbox game that was sold to them like a space sandbox game. Silly players. By the way, try to say that 3 times fast. It's fucking terrible. If you swallowed that line, please do better. This is usually where I would shame you, but I'm going to try really hard not to be mocking or insulting to the backer player base in hopes that if I drop that, you'll actually open up and listen instead of doubling down. Because believe it or not, I want you to listen. I want you to ask questions. I want you to demand results and expect no bullshit answers. This game is never getting made if you guys can't start doing that. So here I am. I'm imploring you. Please stop acting like the world of Star Citizen is going to implode if you start demanding results and holding CIG accountable. With all that said, let's take a look at Squadron 42's vertical slice. Chris Roberts says the bad frames are because players are doing crazy things. He then shows us an expertly edited recording of them playing Squadron 42 during the holiday ATV, in which we can effortlessly spot massive stuttering and plenty of other bugs and issues. The player, from what I can only imagine, is purposely going as slow as fucking humanly possible to not force the game to try to run a lot of loading all at once in order to hide how badly the frame rate really is. Just generally more of what we already see in the persistent universe now that 3.0 is live to everyone. Squadron 42 is where CIG should have shined. There was no more, it's our netcode, even though we say now it's not our netcode, now it's our engine handling things, excuses to hold back the glory of CIG's work. And yet, we got exactly what we have with the persistent universe. Now, rest assured, the computer running Squadron 42's demo is years better than yours. Unless you're watching this and you're sitting next to a $10,000 rig, you can be damn sure that CIG's demo rig has yours beat with little effort. And yet we saw the performance on display during Squadron 42. Now, we could go back to the years of CIG telling us, Squadron 42 is coming along really well, release in 2016, or Squadron 42 is basically feature locked, we should see a release in 2017, we're just polishing it all up at this point. And then we get to the ATV recording stream, I don't even know what to call it, recording stream, whatever, of Squadron 42's demo. And you have all the CIG talking heads saying, look guys, this is an early iteration of our AI, or this is a pre-alpha glimpse of Squadron 42. What? Did you guys just start fucking working on it this year? Which lie is the real lie? Because I can't even keep up with this stuff anymore. Because it gets so confusing with CIG constantly contradicting themselves in nearly everything that they do and say. This kind of progress between Squadron 42 and Star Citizen is exactly why the community should be demanding answers, demanding better results, demanding actual progress. Instead, we're 6 years in now with every update being a slight addition, with a whole new level of bugs, bad performance, glitches, crashes, and promises, with the next one's going to be the better one. Just hang on and keep the wallets open. Look forward to the next major patch. That's going to be the one that fixes it all. We could also look back to the many different instances of Chris where he said, hey, we have enough funding to finish, alternating between saying, if the funding stopped right now, we would have enough to release Star Citizen and fund Squadron 42 with the sales. Or when it became, if funding stopped now, we have enough cash to finish Squadron 42 and fund Star Citizen with the sales. It gets a little bit confusing over time, but, go look them up. First and foremost, we have no idea on the funding because Chris removed the terms of service clause, which would have forced them to release their financials should the game still be in an unreleased state by 2016. So, unless they're sitting on literally $100 million or more, there's no way they have the funds to finish one or the other. As everyone was speculating at how far along Squadron 42 must be because CIG never talks about its progress at all, now, after the holiday event, we can see that Squadron 42 is still deep in development, much like her sister Star Citizen. For a game that is supposed to have had next-level Fidelity AI, they're still struggling to get their AI to do anything that would have stood out from a Call of Duty campaign AI 10 years ago. So much so that they felt the need to make excuses for the quality of their demo before they even showed it to us. One of the other big issues with Star Citizen at this point is the fluffing of the whole graphical fidelity. Back in 2012, when Star Citizen was first pitched, Crytek put together one hell of a demo. When Chris Roberts started claiming he was going to make a space game on PC that would make PC games a thing again, pushing graphics to the max, a lot of people, myself included, celebrated. The problem is, every year Star Citizen has been delayed, graphics on both PC games and consoles have taken major leaps forward. Comparing Chris's vision of Squadron 42 on a top-money gaming rig to that of Infinite Warfare on an Xbox really isn't that striking anymore. Much like when Chris touted a whole procedurally generated space experience where you could land on planets, that too has now been done and surpassed. Currently, there are a handful of games which offer the same gimmick, and most of them have more going on those planets than Star Citizen has in those 3 landable moons that they've finally managed to add. My point here being, the longer Star Citizen keeps getting delayed while backers go, oh, it's okay, it's going to take as long as it takes, the more and more the rest of the industry reaches and surpasses Star Citizen on basically all of its selling points that made Star Citizen original and unique. At this point, it's incredibly possible, for instance, for, let's say, Frontier Developments to say, hey, you know what, we want to add space legs to Elite Dangerous, and by the time they invest the tech and the development time to actually achieving it, Star Citizen could very well likely still be thrashing at critics saying, don't judge me, I'm pre-alpha. I need you to sit down for a minute and really let that sink in. Graphically, from what the human eye can actually see during real gameplay, the industry has already met Star Citizen. Gameplay-wise, what Star Citizen has made the industry has already met and surpassed as well. While I know some backers will protest by saying, well, Star Citizen is going to be doing things that no one else is, I would respond to you with this. Star Citizen is a very long ways out from doing those things, and you can be very sure that anything of note Star Citizen is trying to do or wants to do, the industry has already seen, and they're already working on their version of it right now. Between the community and Chris Roberts, Star Citizen has been propped up so much based on dreams sold by CIG, mechanics that one day may come, and gameplay that is still yet to be figured out, that it's reached a too big to fail, too ambitious to launch status. The expectations that are now part of Star Citizen are so wild and so far-reaching that no two backers has the same vision of what Star Citizen is going to look like when it's finished. Yet, you can very likely find Chris telling each of those backers that their version is what's to come at some point. Citizens, I'm asking you guys one last time. I will stop trolling Star Citizen and its backers. Just do me this one request. Stop being sheep. Ask questions and demand no bullshit answers. And when CIG gives you an answer, pick it apart. Do your due diligence. Just like when your Uncle Bill shares some outlandish article on Facebook from your totally legit and in-your-face news page, like share now, you should be researching what you're being told. Always. When I started making Star Citizen videos on this channel a year ago, it was with the hopes of provoking thought into backers over topics like turret gameplay, ship balance, or other poor design choices from Cloud Imperium. But after a year of seeing just how far backers would defend Cloud Imperium, regardless of the issue, I just broke down. I couldn't keep doing it anymore. I didn't have the heart to keep pushing back. So, as my final plea to citizens around the world, I ask you to stand up, to get off the groupie mobile, and to demand more of this game and its development. If Battlefront 2 scandal has shown us anything, if it's shown us nothing else, it's that the player, the consumer, does have the power to affect change. I ask you, use that power intelligently. I am FailureToReport, and I'm begging all of you, for the sake of every sci-fi fan on this ball of dirt, stand up.
Now remember that this is still very work in progress and we have a lot of things to fine tune, but hopefully it gives you an idea of how fluid the story and gameplay will be in Squadron 42. You could be dogfighting at one moment and then engaged in intense ground combat the next, or back on your home ship spending time getting to know your shipmates.